Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.
Step back, call game like Dame. Now they all know our name. Crossover, then go straight to the hezzy. I'm a dunker like Denny. Small market, yeah, we making it big. Now we got too many cameras. Clinging on guards like Drew. You can't even move, ain't nobody stopping us. Rip City Turner, we making some noise. Pass to the present, we getting like Lord. More to be rockin', we bringing the force. Gang with a dime, that's a bucket, of course. If straight and by the dunk, you gotta move. Young and still hustling like Scoop. Come and tap in, see what's new. Blazers Uprise on the crew.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by Sleeper. Today, your Portland Trail Blazers take care of business in Chicago as they beat the Bulls 121-112 in a game that looked a little iffy. The Blazers were able to pull it away late and take care of business to start off their 5-game road trip. This is a stretch of a lot of road games, but a lot of games that the Blazers will likely be favored in, even if they are missing some guys, which they were tonight. Of course, we knew Denny Avdia and Shane Sharp were not going to play in this game, but Donovan Clingan got scratched today as he has an illness. Hopefully he can get well soon because the Blazers have a quick turnaround. Although it's not a back-to-back, they do play early Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time start time, so hopefully he can feel better. But without their big man, the Blazers went with a small ball starting lineup. Scoot Henderson gets his first start of the year, gets 2 fouls in 2.5 minutes, so it's not even like he really started. But the Blazers were able to take care of business, and although there's some things to clean up from this game, they took care of the ball. Only 12 turnovers for your Portland Trail Blazers today. Very, very happy with that, and it looked like it was going to be a sloppy game early, so that really improved the final 3 quarters of this one. Eric, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Let me unmute you before you say anything, and then now I'll ask you how you're doing. You're unmuted.
Oh, I'm good. Happy to see our Blazers get a. Huh?
Do we have a delay?
Yeah. I don't know. I think your internet was acting weird. I don't know if that's my internet or what, but
Chat, whose internet is it? I think we have a delay. Eric, maybe leave the collab cam and come back. Hopefully, if I'm all right on the stream, it's an Eric issue because there's definitely a delay. There is definitely a delay. The unfortunate thing is I'm going to need Eric to solo stream, so hopefully it's not his internet. Stream is fine. All right. Yeah, come back to the collab cam and hopefully Eric's internet can see it through. Solid game from the Blazers today. I mean, they didn't shoot the 3 ball well. Drew Holiday 0 for 7. Chris Murray 0 for 5. Scoot Henderson 0 for 5. Those guys combined to shoot 0 for 17 from the 3-point line. You're still able to get a 9-point win. You're still able to put 121 points on the board. That was nice to see. You know, not the 3-point shooting. 3-point shooting was ugly. But, all right, Eric, we're going to try this out, all right? When I say speak, all right? 1, 2, 3, speak.
speak.
Oh, man. That's a good old 6-second delay. You know what's funny, chat, is you guys at home, there's a 4-second delay between when I'm streaming this and when you're actually seeing this. So you guys are hearing me before Eric does. Haven't seen that before. That's a new one. That's the curveball we're going to get today. But yeah, I mean, otherwise you're fine. There's just a delay on our end. So I think you should be good to solo stream. I mean, it's not like you're going to have to listen to me. So you get to, speak in 6 seconds later than normal, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, that was faster. That was better. Anyway, chat, hopefully you guys are having a good week so far. Hopefully you guys are having a good Thursday. Thank you for tuning in with the stream being a little bit later than normal. I think there might be one more stream the rest of the year that will be delayed in terms of the start time, so we're almost through with that. We got 22 games left, so expect normal scheduling pretty much the rest of the way, but appreciate you guys tuning in. The Blazers get a win, 2 games under 500. My goal for their road trip was 3-2. This was one of the easier games. Chicago has lost a bunch of games. They're finally tanking. They finally chose a direction, and that is to lose basketball games this year with a generational draft class on the horizon. This is a team that's always been in the play-in. It seems like Charlotte's going to pass them up for that play-in spot, which is pretty cool to see a team other than freaking Chicago or Atlanta or Miami in the Eastern Conference playing. But against these teams, Blazers missing players. This was not an easy game. And at the end of the day, there is some things that you can nitpick. The shooting was brutal. 3 starters combined to go over 17 is really rough. But kind of the fact that you're still able to win by 9 in the game. The Blazers were only favored by 4.5 points going into this one. I think there's something to be said about that. Eric, kind of what's your main takeaway from this one?
My main takeaway is with Klingon being a late scratch and already without Denny and Shea, it was just win this game no matter what happened, even if it was ugly or whatnot. They tried to give it away there in the fourth quarter, almost entirely blew a 15-point lead there, gave up like a 15-3 run, and Chicago had a shot to tie it, I think, at one point. Inside like a lay-in and missed it, and got kind of lucky there. But yeah, my takeaway is, even when you have several guys that don't shoot well, you still find a way to grind out a victory, and we need all the wins we can get right now if we want to catch Golden State. This puts us 2.5 games behind them, and depending on what the Clippers do tonight, they're still playing. They're playing Minnesota, so if they lose tonight, we're a full game up on them in the standings there. Let me check that score. It is Minnesota's up by 4 in the fourth quarter. So
yeah. Close game. The Clippers playing without Kawhi and Garland.
Yeah. So hopefully, I guess we want Minnesota to win that one. Just have a little bit of cushioning. But like you mentioned, a huge back-to-back this weekend. With the early game and then another game on Sunday. And, so just win that game or win this game was important. And then seeing Scoot start was cool.
Not picking up 2 fouls in 2.5 minutes. It's like he didn't even start.
But that was the unfortunate part. So he plays less than 24 minutes in this one. And, man, it's such a bummer to. I don't know if you saw Drew Holiday's comments after the game.
Yeah,
but Drew said something to the effect of like, Scoot's been playing well, but I don't know if he's on a minutes restriction or what because he needs to play more. As a guy on his own team, potentially starting in front of him saying he needs to play more. So that's crazy. Gotta figure that out somehow. I know foul trouble is one thing, but he finishes with 3 fouls, so it's not like he was in foul trouble the rest of the game. What's the deal there? And we're also told that he was not on a minutes restriction anymore, so either that's false and he still is, or something. But yeah, it was kind of weird starting the smaller lineup, especially with Rob available. But Rob comes off the bench and has a huge game and was really instrumental in this win. And we finally got V going off the bench as well. He still only plays 19 minutes, though. So once again, the minute distribution is questionable. I think your phone is next to your mic.
True. Correct. You win.
But yeah, overall, just main takeaway is winning a game we absolutely had to win.
Yeah, I'll just leave you with this before I go. I'll be back, chat. All right, I just want you guys to miss me a little bit. But there's a comment in chat. The Blazers kind of suck is my main takeaway. That's what Raymond says in chat. Listen, I am the first guy to sit here and be like, yeah, they won, but they did this really bad, this really bad, this really bad, and it made the game closer than it should have been, and this is stuff they need to improve. I'm the first one to sit here in a win and say this is what they still need to get better at. But at the same time, man, I'm just happy that it's game number 60 and we're having conversations not about when do we start tanking. We're having a conversation about, yeah, it wasn't pretty, but they took care of business and now here they are in the standings trying to chase a playoff spot. I am happy to be having those conversations for the first time in years. It's been years since we've had those conversations. So even though it might not have been the prettiest win and this wasn't the best team that they beat, there's something to be said about taking care of business, and there's something to be said about the fact that we're finally having these conversations again instead of talking about like, oh man, this win sucks because if they lost, they would have gained a game on the Bulls. Instead, they lost a game on the Bulls. I'm just happy to not be looking at things that way. So, yeah, we can talk about the process all we want. That's what we do here. If you guys have watched the channel for a while, you know that we nitpick the process a little bit and try and be as fair as possible about it. But at the same time, just happy that they got a win, happy that they're taking care of business, and happy that we're chasing something upwards instead of chasing something downwards. Anyway, I'll part with that.
Hey, before you go, the title of the stream says Vucevic buzzer beater.
Well,
he doesn't play for the Bulls anymore.
I know. So normally I don't switch up the title, but I did for that game just because I'm sure people were going to search Vucevic buzzer beater for the last Bulls game, and then I reused the settings. So that's like the one game I switched it up this entire season. The one game I put something like that in the title this entire season. So that's why that happened.
You got to put us all in a bad mood by remembering that moment of the season.
Yeah, that was stupid.
It was a bad loss.
That was such a stupid loss. We'd be 500 right now, you know? Anyway, so there. The title's fixed. Luckily, we didn't get Luckily, Nikola Vucevic, playing for the Boston Celtics, didn't hit a buzzer beater against us today, so we could lose to the Bulls.
That would have been crazy. I actually would want to see that.
Yeah, I don't know how that would have worked, but yeah, happy to be talking about beating this freaking Bulls.
Watching the game and comes in for the last play.
I know, yeah. Rent a player like they do in soccer, you know, you can loan players. Vucevic seemed fed up with Chicago, though, for the past couple of years. There's been times where it just seemed like his body language, he was done with this place. So now they got Anthony Simons instead, but unfortunately he's injured, probably not going to play again this season. So, you know, we'll see if he does, but this has been a banged-up Bulls team. He took care of business. Happy that we're having conversations about trying to win freaking basketball games, and it's almost March. That's an accomplishment for this organization. So, anyway, have fun. I'll be back. And if you get collab cammed, I'll be here to fix it.
All right. What's up, everyone? How's it going? Thank you to everyone who stuck around while we waited. But yeah, chat was popping off during that. Trying to read through it. But yeah, Russ asked, what's the deal with Caleb Love? Well, the deal is we don't have an open roster spot, and he's only got a couple of games left for his two ways before his two-way eligibility is up. So the Blazers are just, while they're not healthy, obviously Klingon is a late scratch, but you wouldn't have known that earlier in the day. So and so they're trying to save his games for ones when they need it, and then they're trying to get him some run in the G League right now. And I don't know what they're going to do in terms of once that eligibility runs out. Will they promote him like they did with Sissoko? But that means you have to cut someone. So I don't know who they cut right now to make that possible. So just a situation where without making another trade other than the 1-for-1, one player going out, one player coming in trade for Beat, they didn't open up any roster spots. So I don't know if they'll eventually cut someone and bring him aboard. Right now, I think they're fine with Blake Wesley getting some of those minutes, and obviously Sissoko's playing. Matisse is healthy right now. All that. So yeah, I don't think they need to right now, but certainly feels like in some of these games they could use a little bit of his scoring, but I wouldn't foresee him playing in a lot of games if Scoot and Blake Wesley are both suiting up. Maybe if something changes there. Are you talking to me, Kenneth, or someone in chat? I know Caleb Love's had some good moments this year. I'm just saying from the team perspective, I think they I think those players they're comfortable with. I think you can make a case for playing any of them, and yeah, I don't think they necessarily need to burn more games for Love right now, as long as there's some healthy bodies. Twizzy says Tiago will cost Joe Cronin his job. I don't know, man. Kirk asks, "What is the chance we re-sign Thibault for cheap?" I think it's pretty low. The tough part with re-signing anyone or whatever, it's still up in the air what ownership does when they come in. Now, when Tom Dundon took over the Carolina Hurricane, he correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe he gave their front office and coach a year to kind of prove themselves or whatever, and then end up canning them all after one season, and then I think he brought in all new people after that. So maybe he does that here, but you could also make the argument that since he had pretty much agreed to buy the team prior to the season starting, like he maybe used this as the evaluation year, but I don't know what that evaluation is would he be happy with the direction? Is he happy with what Tiago's done? Is he looking to clean house once he gets here? Who knows what Dundon's thinking on that. So a lot of the questions right now on like who's going to be resigned and what happens in the offseason, I think is going to come down to what happens with the decision makers. Because if Cronin's still here, I guess there's a chance. I don't think Thibault's going to be cheap, even though he's been hurt a lot. I don't think he's going to like give us a discount because he's been here. And at this point, he might want to change the scenery. It's been a rough couple of years for him, not playing much and being hurt. So maybe he's going to look to go elsewhere. I don't know. I'd kind of be surprised if the Blazers re-signed him this offseason. There's just not enough roster spots to go around. So I guess a little bit of that depends on if they keep their first round pick or not. So if they make the playoffs, they would lose that to Chicago, the team we play tonight. If they don't make the playoffs by losing in the play-in or not making the play-in, then they would keep their lottery pick and have to add another, or they would have to make a or not re-sign someone to keep that roster spot open for the draft pick. But I mean, there still could be trades and stuff as well. Mute That Bozo says he was worried about the last 3-minute mark again. Man, Blazers are up 15 in the fourth quarter, in complete control of this game, and have to sweat another one out. It's crazy how many times they've done that. It's just something that can't really happen consistently, and yet the Blazers find a way to do it. This would have been such a devastating loss. That's why I'm just happy they won this game, because it felt like at one point Chicago had all the momentum. We went almost 5 minutes, I think, without a field goal. Outside of 2 Tamani Kamara free throws, we had like no points for a very long time, and couldn't get any stops on the other end for a while. And you could just see the lead withering away, and man, it was just pretty crazy to almost, especially against the Bulls, man. Bulls and Kings, like I know this wasn't like 2 minutes like the Kings game, but still, I mean, you're playing a team that's not very good right now. Uh, they're on a huge losing streak, and it's like, no, you're gonna let them come back in this game? Are you kidding me? Then it's like, calm down. They don't have hardly anyone, but then you see Drew and Jeremy on the court, and Rob comes back in for a little bit at the end. Tamani, it's tough to like be like, oh, okay, give them some slack, because they still had some good players out there. But yeah, it's almost like James says in chat, it's quite possible that they almost won this game but didn't want to, and kind of pulled the plug there at the end. But man, it's just really undisciplined. And then during that stretch when we almost blew the lead, there ended up being a third one, but there was 2 back-to-back charge calls charge block calls that both went in our favor. The one where Tamani got those 2 free throws, and then was it Chris Murray who took the charge on the other end right after that? And I didn't really get a good look at either replay, but it seemed like they were both pretty close. And the Bulls were mad at the Tamani one, that it was called a block and not a charge. I thought it was pretty close. I think that one could have gone either way, but we get lucky and get both of those to go our way. Otherwise, that lead might have completely evaporated. And you had Yabusele arguing about how to call it on both ends, because he felt like that was the same call on both ends. But man, I know there's a lot of teams like this. I know in the NBA especially, it happens a lot. Happens in other sports too. But just that feeling in your stomach when you watch the Blazers just like completely choke away a lead. It's just, man, those of you that are older, I'm 46. I've seen a lot of those moments. And it's just like, oh man, this sucks. Like we're gonna lose this game, aren't we? And it's so deflating, and thank goodness they pulled this one out, because like I said, this would have been a really, really bad loss. Mustafa says, I think the team is good enough to beat the Suns in the play-in. Are you talking about the Blazers? I'd agree with you if they're healthy. If the Blazers are healthy, mainly, Denny and Klingon. I mean, who knows if they're going to get Shea back? I mean, that would be helpful too. It would be cool to see this team at full strength at some point this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. But man, I if you're talking about the Blazers, I do agree they could beat anyone in the play-in. I think they're definitely capable of beating any of those teams, but I mean, all those teams. Phoenix the last game didn't really, because obviously a bunch of people were out for them, and we took care of business in that game. But they seem to have had our number at different points over the last couple of years, and man, the Clippers have been a thorn in our side. Even when they were terrible at the start of the year, we were not. We still lost to them early in the season when that was one of their only wins at the time. And then what else? Who else is in the play-in? Or Golden State? Yeah, I mean, Golden State, I guess, is the one team we've fared the best against this season. But Yeah, no, playing Steph in a playing situation or the playoffs, as the Blazers have done many times over the years. I think we played them 3 times in the playoffs during their run of championship games and stuff. Man, even though we played them really well this season and they won't have Butler, I mean, I think we still beat them, but it's still kind of scary. But man, get that 8 seed somehow, force them to play the Clippers in that 9-10 game, and then you get a shot at Phoenix or whatever in Phoenix, and then you come home and get to play the winner of Golden State and Clippers. I think they probably make the playoffs in that scenario. They win one of those two, hopefully. But it does depend on health a lot. It does a lot. Gregory says lotto pick more valuable than getting swept in the first round. Yeah, I mean, in terms of roster building and future, I agree that lotto pick is important. But you could also, this is one of the rare times where I think either way you can kind of justify that being the best route. I do agree, especially in this draft, that getting a lotto pick, even if it's at the end of the lottery, is still going to be better than a lot of other. I mean, it's better than anyone we could probably sign at free agency or trade for, unless we use like some of our good assets. But man, I don't know if I don't know if it really is the end of the world if they get some playoff experience, they have the feeling of accomplishment of winning a play-in game or possibly 2 play-in games to make the playoffs, because those two, even if you get swept, even if you get swept in the playoffs, you still won 1 or 2 games in a playoff atmosphere, high pressure situation. I think that would be beneficial for a young team. So I don't look at it necessarily like a sweep would be devastating, or like, especially with losing the pick. I think a sweep would still be a pretty good experience. And then you add to that the fact that you add a game or 2 on top of that you end up winning. I do believe that helps them long term. Maybe not as much, like I said, as getting another rotation piece potentially, or who knows if you hit on that pick and it's like a starting level player or something, that completely changes the trajectory. But with losing the pick, you do open up an additional first you can trade, and you finally eliminate the worst case scenario of potentially being able to swap for the number 1 pick in 2028, but losing our pick that year to the Bulls because that was the first year we made the playoffs, and then so not getting that pick because we lost it to the Bulls. I think that would be the worst case scenario for if we're just talking about roster building and making sure we have enough assets. Sorry to say goodnight to my son. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, so he says definitely not bad to make the playoffs, just think more beneficial for one more lotto pick. See, the problem is, though, then it puts all the pressure on making the playoffs next year. And I know you have faith that they can flip some switch and easily make it, but haven't had the most injury luck and all that stuff. It's certainly possible that a lot of these players are similar injuries next year. But man, I don't know. As a fan of the draft, especially this draft, I would be very happy to have a pick in this draft still. Don't get me wrong. But I'm sick of thinking of the nightmare scenario, and that is having to make the playoffs next year pretty much at all costs, or else we basically have to go this year, next year, and 2028 without making the playoffs, or we're really screwed, or we're potentially like screwing up one of the best assets in the league. So I don't know, man. I think they were just thinking about this season and into next year and not the pick we owe the Bulls. I agree it would be fun to add a lotto pick, and it certainly has the potential in this draft to be a difference maker, even if you're picking at 14. But at the same time, just freeing up that 2028 swap to be able to happen naturally without having to get like worried about it for the next 2 years. I think it'd be fine if they just go for the playoffs this year and make it, and we lose that pick. I don't think it would be. And when you look at it last year, I mean, we had the 11th pick. People were saying that exact same thing last year. Let's not let's not lose our pick this year. Go for another lotto pick. And like I said, that's great. I'm all for that. Getting as many lotto picks as possible. But they didn't utilize it very well. And maybe that still pans out, but they had the 11th pick and end up trading down and picking someone that hasn't helped them at all this year. So I think that would be, I mean, can you think of a worse scenario than losing a close playing game this year? And Tori can answer this now that he's back. Can you think of a worse scenario than losing a buzzer beater or something playing game, not making the playoffs, but keeping our pick, wasting it like we did last year, and then losing out on like the number one pick in 2028 because we lost that game and didn't want to make the playoffs and keep that pick or something? That would, that would be. I mean, that's a very Portland thing, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what is the conversation that I'm walking into?
Oh, it's just whether it would be better to get one more lotto pick this year or make the playoffs and get swept. And
guys,
my argument was,
why is this a conversation?
Well, my argument was that you wouldn't be getting swept necessarily because you would have to win one or two playing games, which I think would be crazy, like really good experience for the team to win those games and show a lot of stuff. But it's not just like a normal make the 8th.
So if you lose the lotto pick this year, that means if you make the playoffs next year, you still have a pick. I know it's a weaker draft, but you still have a pick. Okay, so what? You lose out on the 13th or 14th pick this year, and then next year, instead, you get the 17th or 18th pick. Like, really?
You could also trade that pick in future packages, which you wouldn't be able to. For sure.
The other alternative is, all right, you missed the playoffs this year, and you missed the playoffs next year, and then all of a sudden it's like, man, we got to make the playoffs in 2028 or else we can't swap our pick, or we got to figure out something with Chicago, and that's just a whole mess. That's a whole debacle, right? Like, those are the two alternatives if... Those are the two alternatives. Like, it's not that big of a deal to sit here and be like, oh, should we not try and make the playoffs for the first time since 2021? The last time we made the playoffs, there weren't even able to be more than 5,000 fans in the arena. Like, I don't know, man. I think making the playoffs, even if you get swept by the Thunder, it's good experience. And yeah, you lose out on the pick, but then you don't have to worry about 2028. You have the pick next year if you make the playoffs again, which would ultimately be the goal. If you can make the playoffs this year, you should be able to make the playoffs next year. And it'd be building towards the future. Like, missing the playoffs again just feels like you're kind of doing what you did last year. Mm-hmm. You're not progressing enough. Like, the goal should absolutely be to make the playoffs. And then also, do you guys trust this front office to draft the right player at the end of a lottery? They really like Klingon. They might have had him as the number one player on the board. And honestly, he's been playing so well lately that doesn't look too crazy in that draft. The Scoot pick hasn't really paid dividends given what we expected. We expected Scoot to be all-star, maybe generational point guard, right? Unfortunately, hasn't been that good. Sharp, yeah, saw okay value for the 7th overall pick, but I don't know. I don't think it was a home run. I think you could probably name a few guys that you'd rather have than Shaedon Sharp from that draft class. So, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag. The Chris Murray pick, whatever. They picked Ryan Rupert over Tamani, but then traded for Tamani. Really, it's just last year sticking out in my head. Like, you have Cedric Howard on the board. He has a very high floor and a all-star ceiling, in my opinion, and he's exactly what you need. And he has great measurables. And can pass, and shot a hot 3-ball at the start of the year. He kind of went into a slump, but he's certainly capable of shooting that thing. And you pass up on him for a guy that should have went in the second. I know you got the Orlando first. Hopefully that's a good first-round pick. But my entire point is I don't know if I trust the organization to draft the right player at 13 or 14. And at that point, it's like, all right, then why would we not try and make the playoffs so we can have this pick, have this asset, if we don't even know if we can trust this organization to use it correctly? This organization would draft freaking Hannes Steinbach. Okay, after drafting Klingon and then Young Hansen, they draft Hannes Steinbach. Some people like him, but I think it would be funny after Klingon and then Young to draft a tweener big 4-5 that can kind of make a 3, but not really. I don't know. I don't really trust them to draft the right player necessarily. So I'm all for making the playoffs this year, continuing to build the culture here, continuing to build a winner here. You don't build a winner somewhere by continuously missing the playoffs.
Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back. My dog's going crazy. I need to figure out what's going
on. When I was gone, I heard some talk about next year and expectations next year. Maybe I misheard, but we don't know who's gonna be running the team. Obviously, Tom Dunn is going to be the owner, but we don't know who's going to be the GM. We don't know who's going to be within the front office. We don't know who's going to be the head coach. We don't know who's going to be the decision makers here to decide what next year's roster even looks like. So, yeah, there's some loose expectations that they're at least a playoff team next year, but beyond that, I don't know how we can realistically have the conversation about what next year looks like right now. Until Tom Dundon comes in here and says, all right, Tiago's coming back, Joe's coming back, or he comes in here and says, all right, we completely cleaning house, new people in these positions, here's kind of what we're saying. I have no idea what next year looks like at all. So I think everything's very focused for me on just trying to make the playoffs and trying to get a 7 seed especially so you don't have to deal with OKC. You end up facing the Spurs then, but I don't know. That's going to be their first playoff series. The 2 seed last year was the Rockets' first playoff series for a number of guys, and they lost to the 7th seed Golden State Warriors. Yeah, Wemby is a matchup issue, but you do have Tamani who can play him on the perimeter, and then you can put Klingon on maybe a non-shooter, and he can stay around the rim. You have Klingon as some size to try and combat Wemby. I want to see that matchup. I want to see the Blazers play the Spurs. Because I think there is, while they would be heavy underdogs in that series, I don't think it's impossible that the Blazers could beat them. That's their pathway to actually winning a playoff series this year. That should absolutely be the goal. They should aim as high as possible. And, you know, they don't get it. But at least along the way, you make the playoffs, you get playing games, you get some good experience, you learn from your mistakes. You know, and if it's not pretty, then maybe Tiago. Is Tiago gone? So, I don't know. I don't know if you heard me, Eric, but basically, I heard you talking a little bit about, like, next year, or somebody was asking about, like, next year's expectations, that sort of thing. I don't understand how we can realistically have that conversation without knowing who's running the front office, who's coaching the team, how Dundon's going to run the team. Like, there's so many unknowns that, like, obviously, expectation, I think, is to make the playoffs, but nothing beyond that can be spoken to realistically right now. I'd love to come out here and be like, yeah, it should be... The goal should realistically be contention, but, dude, we don't even know who's going to be the freaking GM or head coach, or I don't know how much Dundon's going to clean house, so it's very in the moment right now towards, like, just trying to get this playoff experience, trying to get a 7 seed. I want to see a Spurs-Blazers matchup in the first round. I think that would be a series that the Blazers would be heavy underdogs, but if they were healthy, I think they could win a couple of games there, maybe even win the series. We saw a team in Houston last year who was the 2nd seed, but they didn't have much playoff experience, and they lost to the 7th seed Golden State Warriors. So the goal should be to try and be that team. Obviously, it's going to be very, very, very tough to do that, but I'm tired of the standard being set low and talking about, oh, maybe we should not succeed in making the playoffs. Maybe we should tank again. Maybe we should. I'm beyond that. I said earlier in the show, like, I'm happy that we're having conversations about trying to get as high of a playoff seeding as possible and trying to win games, and it's almost March. So,
yeah, what I was going to say before I had to go, the draft history and stuff, and not trusting the front office, that might be all out the window if there's a new front office, so that might not matter. But I don't know if you've been paying attention, Tori, but the Spurs have won 11 games in a row and are only a game and a half out of the 1 seed. So it's quite possible the Thunder are the 2. So that
who would you rather play, the Spurs or the Thunder?
I mean, obviously, I'd rather play the Spurs. For one, just because that almost guarantees that Wemby finally plays in Portland. And I just want to see the dude play in person. Because it feels like he's out every time he plays the Blazers. The Spurs, I mean, they're really good, though.
I feel like we match up well with them, though.
Yeah, I mean, we match up okay, but yeah, I mean, you gotta hope that the Spurs are just peaking too early, and that they'll lack of experience will hurt them in the playoffs. But yeah, I'd much rather play them. I mean.
Here's the thing.
Finding champs for a reason, so.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. You're allowed to be more physical in the playoffs. We're a team that, if anything, plays too physical. If anything, our defense and how physical we like to be, our defense is made for the playoffs. Our offense isn't. Our offense would really struggle in a series like that. But if we're allowed to be physical, and, I mean, the key would be forcing some turnovers and just not letting Wemby get to the rim. You probably cross match a small onto Wemby and then try and keep clinging around the rim. You know, teams have done that in the past, and Wemby's obviously great, but they have some guys that aren't the greatest 3-point shooters, and we can see that cause problems in the playoffs. Like, I want that matchup for the Blazers.
I think it'll come down to this, if the Blazers can hit threes or not, and I don't know if that's going to happen in the playoffs, hopefully, but
yeah, I mean, it's unlikely that they would win that series. Obviously, they'd be heavy underdogs, but I don't think it's impossible. It's fun to talk about wanting a certain matchup in the playoffs, man. I wish we had the channel back in 2019 when a bunch of Blazer fans were like, "No, why'd we win our final game? Now we have to play the Thunder. That's such a bad matchup. We should have just decided to play the Jazz." And I was sitting there like, "No, bring it on. We're the 3 seed. We're better than them. I want this matchup. I want Dame versus Russ. I trust Dame to win that matchup." That was my whole attitude in 2019. I wanted the OKC. Nobody else on Twitter, nobody else, I didn't have the channel. Nobody else seemed to want OKC, and I was just sitting there like, I want this. Like, this is a matchup they can win, and then they win in 5 games. Like, so.
I always believe if you, like, lose on purpose like that who was it? We're trying to play the Jazz or something, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we would have lost that series to the Jazz. You know what I mean? Like, just because they had Mitchell and Gobert then still. But yeah, I hate. It's one thing I cannot stand is trying to, like, oh, we should win this or lose this to try and match up with this team or whatever. Yeah. Just get the best possible seed, in my opinion. And usually the path as a 7 seed is easier because, one, you play the 2 seed versus the 7 or versus the 1 seed, but then you're playing the 3rd seed in the second round. So you have 2 lesser teams in theory than your first round. So I feel like let the chips fall where they fall. Just do what's best for your team. And I don't know. I feel like any team that tries to match up with someone on purpose always ends up, like, losing to that team. And it's like, well, why did you want them then? I also hate, like, there's been some talk in baseball about, like, division winners, like the top 2 records in each conference get to pick who they play in the first round or something. And I hate all that stuff. So I'd rather just win if you get the 7th. Because, like, what happens if the Thunder and Spurs are close towards the end of the season and you're trying to position yourself to get the 7th to avoid the Thunder, but then you get the 7th and the Thunder lose on the last day and you end up, like, having to play them anyway. So it's stupid.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, just go make the playoffs. Like, it's good for the organization to have a goal that's a positive goal instead of tanking. I want to be above 500 this year. I want this season to be a building block, even though it doesn't really feel like one, because last year they had the 23rd ranked offense and 13th ranked defense. After the previous game, I think they were 22nd on offense and 17th on defense, so it's not even like they've really gotten any better on either side of the ball, but they have dealt with injuries and this and that. They're now 21st on offense, 18th on defense, so there's still obviously so much to work on. But you look at this team, they're sitting here at 29-31. They've had a lot of injuries. They've played the second toughest schedule in the league. And they have such fixable flaws. They, the last 15 games, have been turning over the ball at a rate that would be the highest turnover rate since the Knicks in, like, 2006? 20 years. That's how sloppy they've been lately. You look at the defense. The defense is absolutely underachieved. The defense should not be a below average defense. I think that's quite ridiculous given some of the defensive players that they had on their roster, even when they had injuries. Okay? They were the worst three-point shooting team for the majority of the season. Tonight's not going to help with that because we're 29th and we're only 0.1 above Sacramento, who's in last. And this is after tonight's game. So we're barely not the worst three-point shooting team. And you look at all these things that are so fixable. Some things that should be improvable going into next year. And you look at the fact that they're 29-31 after such a tough schedule with some of the injuries. And you know me, I'm not the one to just chalk everything up to like, oh, they've been injured. That excuses everything that happens on the floor. Trust me, I'm the last person to do that. But this is just the reality of what's happened this season. Somehow they're 29-31 with all the injuries, with the tough schedule, with all these issues. So just imagine if they could just be an average team taking care of the ball and an average three-point shooting team. We'd probably be talking about a team that's the 7th seed right now. We'd probably be talking about a team that's close to 10 games above 500 right now. Like, that is an enormous, enormous difference. Because that's how bad they've been turning over the ball and shooting the three-point ball. And if they could improve their freaking defense and be borderline top 10 like they should be, we're talking about a team that's actually looking like a threat to maybe steal a series in the first round. But obviously those flaws are a bit of a part of their DNA right now. They should be trying to obviously improve these things and fix these things the final 22 games of the year to see how good they are in the playoffs if they don't turn over the ball 20 times a game, if they can actually knock down some threes. It's a litmus test. Hopefully they have some health. So, and then going into next year, whoever the GM is, like, you have very clear things to improve. I mean, we're also talking about, are they the worst defensive rebounding team in the league? Like, one of them? There are so many areas that are just so bad, yet they're still sitting here 2 games below 500 with the easiest schedule the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get cooked, though, if they turn the ball over in the playoffs. Like, then it will be a sweep. So that would – I don't know if that problem is fixing itself. I know they didn't have a lot of turnovers tonight, but they also played a team that didn't I was just reading Musty's mention. But yeah, they also played a team that couldn't really take advantage of it. That's not going to happen in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously they have multiple areas they struggle in that could be the death of them in the playoffs, absolutely. But long term, this is the stuff that has to improve. It's very clear. It's not like, oh, we have a top 3 offense with David CJ, but that's a huge reason why we have a bottom 3 defense. And if we improve that, we're probably, it's not the easiest thing to improve that, given that our top 2 players on the roster are 2 undersized guards that aren't the best defenders in the backcourt, right? Like, but all this other stuff, the rebounding, the shooting, the turnovers, all this stuff is fixable and coachable. And this is where I think a new coach, if you hire the right coach, could be an improvement over Thiago. Like, these things shouldn't be this much of a problem this far into the season. But at the end of the day, like, just figure it out, man. Figure out how to take care of the ball. You were able to win this game shooting 22% from 3 because you only turned over the ball 12 times. I think they had 6 turnovers in the first quarter. So the last 3 quarters, you only turn over the ball 6 times, and you're able to put 121 on the board, even though you couldn't buy a freaking 3. So that's just kind of my attitude towards things. Go ahead.
Against the Bulls, though.
I mean, they've been turning over the ball against everybody.
No, I know. It was good.
How many turnovers do they have against the G League Suns?
Yeah. At least they won that game, too.
Yeah. But they had 21 turnovers against the G League Suns and scored 92 points. And they shot better from 3 that game. They shot 27% from 3 that game compared to 22% this game. Anyway.
Shout out to Mubsy Hoops, member for 5 months, says, Scoot started, let's go. Kinda, yeah, kinda.
And so he fouled. And
I mean, he did
got
start,
that with 2 minutes
yeah.
in because he had 2 fouls. But all right, let's break down some players here. Let's start with Scoot because he started. Scoot, 24 minutes. Scoot plays 24 minutes. I guess it was the foul trouble, but he only finished with 3 fouls, Eric.
Yeah. Yep.
So I guess Thiago doesn't want to listen to Drew. I
guess not. Or maybe he will now. Maybe Drew's speaking up, so he will listen.
So Scoot, 12 points, 6 for 12 from the field, but 0 for 5 from 3. He was 6 for 7 inside the arc. Didn't get to the line. Had 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 rebounds. For one, he needs to stop stepping on the 3-point line. He's made 3 jumpers so far this season in, 8 games?
If that's the last 3 games he's done that.
Yeah. So not helping his 3-point percentage. But also, he struggled shooting the ball at the start of last year and then figured it out as the season went on. He's struggling to shoot the 3 ball right now. I think after this game he might be below 30%. I'm not worried about it because this is kind of what it was last year, and then he figured it out and started shooting the 3 ball really well. at some point he needs to be more consistent of a 3-point shooter. But he had that stretch, in that 3-game stretch, before the last three games, he's 2 for 17. If he didn't step on the 3-point line, he'd be 5 for 20, but that's still 25%, right? It's even worse than that because he's stepping on the freaking line. He had that stretch, 3 for 5, 2 for 4, 3 for 7. Do you think some of it's shot selection? I feel like he's being a little bit more ambitious with shooting threes, but I don't necessarily feel like they're bad shots. I think he looks good attacking the rim right now. He had a couple really nice drives in this game. He has 4 assists in 24 minutes. He's averaging 5 assists per game and only 23 minutes per game. The last couple of games, he's cut down on the turnovers, only 2 turnovers in each game. So 4 turnovers to 9 assists the last couple of games, so that improved. What were your thoughts on him today? Do you think he's playing well? Are you worried about the 3-point shooting?
I think you always have to be a little concerned about it. But I definitely think mechanically it's gotten way better than since his rookie year. So that tends to be a positive sign that it can get better. And until he plays more games, it's going to be a small sample size. Games like this really hurt those percentages when you've only played 8 games, like you said. So I don't think worried is the right word, but it's always been one of Scoot's biggest issues. Will he be able to figure out the 3? It looked like last year he was figuring it out and learning how to shoot it. And then, he has this huge layoff where he can't get after it and really train hard. So you'd think he would have been able to do a lot of shooting during that time, but it's still not shooting like when you're tired or after, getting a huge sweat going. Yeah. And so that's
he does use a lot of legs when he shoots too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's still too early in his career to not be worried at all about it. Considering that was the biggest question mark of his game coming into the NBA. But at the same time, I'm not as worried about it as I was when he was drafted, just because he has shown that he is willing to put in the work to fix it and make it look mechanically better. So, but he still has to hit him, and I don't know. I think it's still too early for that to be super worried about it.
Yeah, the results last year were fine. He shot 35.4% from 3. He shot 32.5% his rookie year, 35.4% in year 2, and this is after having a slump at the start of the season. Now he's in year 3 and had a long layoff and is having a little bit of a slump at the start of his season, which is coming around the All-Star break. So, I'm sure there's some rust there, and it's a small sample. I'm not worried because of the improvement that he showed last year and because his shots gotten mechanically better. And because he made more threes in year 2 than he did in year 1. There was sizable improvement there. So
what I'm way
go ahead.
If we're talking about worrying things, I'm way more worried about him not being used much on ball or as much as I feel like he should be with the people out of the game.
Stupid, dude.
He's not really getting tasked to run the offense a ton. And you could have made the argument that would be when we had that conversation about why he isn't starting or whatever, that was one of the few, if you're just playing devil's advocate, reasons I think for coming off the bench. Oh, he can lead the bench unit and be the guy and have the ball in his hands a lot more, but that's not what's happening on the court. He's getting it some, and certainly at times it's more than others, depending on the lineups. But with Denny out right now, Shea out, just give him much more responsibility. And I think it's weird that they're not giving him more of a chance.
Super weird. It's super weird. Going into this game, I only have these numbers before this game. But going into this game, per 36 minutes, he's averaging 22 points per game, 8.2 assists. Now, the thing that sucks is 5.4 turnovers, but 8.2 assists to 5.4 turnovers with a true shooting percentage of 56.6%. And this is with him struggling to shoot the three. You expect that to get better. Like, there's an efficient player there. And I just don't understand the why they won't play him on the ball. Turnovers have plagued this team all season long, and it's a bunch of different players that have been turning over the ball like crazy lately. Not just him. The last 4 games, he has 8 turnovers. There's only 2 per game. That's better. But you kind of got to let him work through some of his mistakes, I think. You can't just be so quick to, he had 5 turnovers today with 6 assists. Like, we're going to dial it back, and we're going to kind of stick him in the corner. I just feel sometimes that this organization isn't really setting him up to succeed. And that kind of drives me crazy. It's just like, what sort of thought is being put into his development right now if you're not willing to give him responsibility in games, even though he's been very productive. And you're still not giving him probably as much responsibility as he should have, given that he's had some really good moments to start the year and he's been a productive player. So, and then 24 minutes today, he only fouls 3 times. Like, you're playing against a team that's tanking, and you start him, but, he picks up 2 fouls in 2.5 minutes. Yeah, of course you're going to sit him and not bring him back until later in the half, but I still feel like he finishes 3 fouls. He should be playing more than 24 minutes. Blake Wesley played well in this game, so maybe that aided into his minutes as well. It's just like I want to see him start and not pick up 2 fouls immediately and play over 30 minutes and just have the ball in his hands and have that somewhat consistently and see what that looks like.
If I were to play devil's advocate again, the only other thing that would make sense to counter that would be, he's not showing them enough off the court or in practice or whatever. But Thiago himself said they don't really practice that much.
Yeah, like that is grasping at straws. I feel like, it's I mean, what is he supposed to show you in practice that he's not showing you in games?
I don't know, maybe he's just not running the offense the way they want it to be run in practice.
What offense?
I know that's the joke, but like, I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing I can think of is that they're like, I don't know, frustrated is the right word, but like they're not seeing what they need to see to give him those keys. But how else do you explain it?
But they'll let Sharp shoot 18 times a game in 30 minutes and have more turnovers than assists. Like, I don't get it. I know that Sharp's not a point guard, so he's not running the offense, but their offense isn't really like where you have a point guard generating everything, like always on the ball, always running everything. Like, they play 5 out and they have an element of randomness to it and they move the ball around, right? So I just don't understand how they could be unsatisfied with him to the point where like they're not giving him more responsibility or more minutes, because that doesn't really feel consistent with some other things. Like, damn, are they going to be frustrated when Sissoko has 4 fouls in 14 minutes? No. No. So it's, yeah. Hopefully he plays more next game. But it's funny how, he finally gets to start because the center's out.
Right. I mean, the other part that doesn't make sense to me is, I mean, not that Drew's played bad every game. Obviously, he's had some good games too. But, like, especially tonight, he wasn't – it's like he was cooking, and you were like, okay, let's keep the ball in his hands because – he's doing awesome, and like, Scoot, we understand we need to develop your on ball, but let's win this game. Drew's doing a good job, or whatever. Like, Drew, when he finished 4 for 15 or something from the field, like, he wasn't that good from the field. either. So
Scoot has been better on the ball than off the ball this year.
yeah.
So I don't understand what the justification is for like, oh, we're going to keep you off the ball. You're 0 for 5 from 3, and you're 6 for 7 from 2. But we're going to keep you off the ball. And you have 4 assists, 2 turnovers. We're gonna not let you play big. Shout out to Muvsy. This goes into the conversation.
He has a couple.
He has a couple, okay? First donation, thank you, Muvsy. 2 $7 Canadian donation says, Tori, what do you think of Scoot as a playmaker when the offense slows down? And then his second donation, it says, just found out that Scoot is 94th percentile in creation this season, which is a great guy to give the ball to. I don't know, but B-ball index stat. Thank you, Muvsy, for the stat. Yeah, he's been good as a creator this year, better than off the ball. And we have a lot of guys, when they're on the ball, that make so many mistakes, turn over the ball like crazy, this and that. I want to see them utilize Scoot more on the ball. Obviously, when Dame comes here next year and you have Denny and you have other guys, then becomes a little bit more of an off-ball player. But my point is, like, right now, without those guys, you need the creation. And this is a great opportunity that he might not get next year to be given the keys a little bit and run things. You're talking about Drew, who's 4 for 15 tonight, who has been a walking turnover the past couple of weeks. Like, he's a vet, he's a vet. He's had his turnover issues. So, I don't know, man. I just... the usage is kind of frustrating to me, and this is how it was under Chauncey, man. His entire career here has just felt like, oh man, are they ever going to give him more of an opportunity than they're giving him? And you had Cronin kind of allude to like keeping the training wheels on, and it's getting really frustrating.
One of the 2 games this weekend, he needs to play a lot and play a majority of the time on ball.
Yep. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like they keep going this route. They might trade him, and then he goes somewhere else and becomes our next. I mean, Jermaine O'Neal wasn't playing and wasn't good when he was here, and then we trade him. He becomes an all-star. But like, we trade him somewhere else, and Scoot becomes a 20-9 guy and makes an all-star game. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, part of me feels like if Scoot makes an all-star game, it's more likely it comes in another team's jersey, which is just kind of disgusting to me. So, anyway, I think Scoot's fine off the ball too. He's just not making threes. Like, I don't think Scoot doesn't know how to play off the ball. There's a difference between knowing how to play off the ball and just simply missing threes. Scoot does a good job of relocating around the arc. We've seen him back cut guys when he gets overplayed. We've seen him come off handoffs and get downhill. We've seen him get the ball swung to him, and he runs into the catch and gets a drive going off of it. I don't think Scoot doesn't know how to play off the ball. I think he does. I think right now the issue is he's not making threes. So, therefore, he has been more productive on the ball so far this season than he has been off the ball just because the shot's not falling at a high clip. I don't know. Like, he still gets on-ball opportunities. It's just kind of like there's a difference between the way he's being used right now and being used as, like, you're the point guard of our team. Like, go run the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
It's just so weird. Like, why, though? Like,
I don't freaking know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But this is my biggest fear, It was always like, oh, he should prove it coming off the bench. It's like, what if he does and they still don't, give him enough responsibility? It's been my biggest fear. It's been something that I've talked about for a while now, and we're kind of getting to that point. So, anyway, that's the Scoot conversation for today. 6 for 12 was nice. 0 for 5 from 3. If he could just make 3, like if he made 2 threes, it is 8 for 12 or 2 for 5 from 3. This is a beautiful stat line. He has 18 points in 24 minutes. Like, just knocked down a couple of threes, and it's a beautiful, beautiful stat line. Beautiful game. But I think the shot will come. I mean, the starting lineup was abysmal shooting the 3. Those three, Chris, Drew, and Scoot, and then Tamani combined for 2 for 26 from 3. Shoot, I could do that. That's insane.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
That's insane. No, I'm just saying that's how you know it's bad. All right, Jeremy is doing his best Denny impersonation in terms of getting to the line after shooting 15 free throws last game. He shoots 14 attempts today. 27 points on 6 for 10 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and 12 for 14 from the free throw line. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers, plus 14. Player of the game, Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I mean, he was good offensively in this game. Yeah, I mean, we needed scoring, and he provided it. It got to the line again. He did last game too. Just wasn't as good shooting from the field. But yeah, we needed him to step up tonight, and thankfully he had a pretty good game.
Yep, shout out to Jeremy. Knocking down threes, hit a clutch 3 down the stretch when the Bulls were having their comeback as well.
A lot of ISO, but I don't know. I kind of disagree with some of the things Shot was saying. Like, there are times when you kind of have to, and we didn't have a lot of guys shooting the ball well or doing much in this game, so especially in the starting lineup. You're down 3 starters, and you just got to kind of sometimes take the team on your back and, like you said, pull a Denny and make something happen. And thankfully tonight he did.
Yep. I'll also say, just side note, I really like some of the fast breaks they had over the course of this game. They had some good breaks this game.
How many fast break points did they end up?
Let's see here. They had 18.
Or 18, yeah.
18.
Bulls had 20.
But like they got a fast break layup off a make. How often do we see them do that, you know?
Not very often.
Did a really good job of just like leaking out and passing ahead and making stuff happen. You know, you had that fast break where Drew threw that dime to Chris. Like, there's some impressive fast break moments in this game, and that's why they were able to put the points on the board that they did despite shooting 22% from 3. Tamani, 16 points, 4 for 14, 2 for 9 for 3, but gets to the line 6 times, makes all 6 free throws, kind of saves his game a little bit. But he kind of feels like he's getting back into an offensive slump lately. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover in 36 minutes of play, so still playing a ton. But you look at the last 4 games, he was 2 for 8, 2 for 6, 1 for 5, 2 for 9 from 3. This is after a stretch where he was 8 for 10, 2 for 3, 4 for 7. So cooling off a bit here from the 3-point line. In those games, 4 for 11, 5 for 9, 5 for 14, 4 for 14. So he has not been efficient the past 4 games. Would be nice to see him have a good 3-point shooting game. Tonight wasn't that, but it wasn't that for basically the whole team. So outside Jeremy.
Yeah. I don't really have much to add.
Alrighty. Your favorite player, Chris Murray, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 offensive rebounds. You know, you don't have Klingon. You need somebody to grab some offensive boards. Chris Murray was that guy tonight. 5 for 13 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, though.
Yeah, it was part of the problem from 3, but I thought he did a lot of other nice things in this game. No turnovers, just like Jeremy, so... You know, when you're a role player, don't turn the ball over. That's good. You mentioned the offensive rebounding. Actually, it wasn't really – Rob Will was really the only one who had a monster rebounding game. Well, I guess 5 for Jeremy is a monster rebounding game. But, it was pretty much by committee tonight. But I will say this is one of the – that might be a season low for the Blazers. I don't know how to look that up, but in terms of – offensive rebounds by the opponent. So defensive rebounding was not a problem in this game, but I guess they did give up a ton of Chicago shot. They missed a lot of threes, but overall shoot 50% of the field. So maybe not a ton of offensive rebound opportunities for them, but yeah, I did think the Blazers did a good job of defensive rebounding, and Chris despite having that small lineup, did do a pretty good job when he was out there.
He needs to not shoot 5 threes in a game, dude.
That's he should never shoot 5 threes.
He shot multiple with more than half the shot clock left. Dude, you are a non-shooter. You can't shoot. We were happy that you went 2 for 3 from 3 in one of the 3 games you've been back, but over the 3 games you've been back, you're 2 for 9 from 3.
I wouldn't want Chris Murray shooting 5 threes if he was 4 for 4 from 3.
Dude, he shot a 3. He shot a 3 with 18 on the shot clock.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like completely wide open. I mean, it was open enough, but he had a baseline drive. It was in transition. What are you doing? You are not a shooter. You have had 3 years to prove that you are somewhat of a shooter, and you are absolutely not a shooter. You are the worst shooter on this team that shoots threes. Shoot, Robert Williams shoots a better percentage this year, and he shot one off the side of the backboard today. Before this game, 26.8% from 3. He literally can't shoot. Teams should dare him to shoot, and it's just frustrating, dude. Like, I don't understand a 26% three-point shooter shooting a transition 3 with 18 on the clock. He's supposed to be the smart player, make the right decisions. Okay, the right decision is to not shoot 5 threes when you can't shoot threes. Anyway.
Azaro points out Rob Williams is shooting 40% from 3.
Yeah. Do you see him shooting 5 a game?
Yeah. He missed his one tonight.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, Cole, he does some little things. His shooting is killer. His shooting is just such an issue. I can't look past it. If he could knock down 37% of his threes and do all these little things, he'd be a good role player on a good team, probably. You know, he was 5 for 8 inside the arc. Had 3 assists, had 5 boards. But it's just ridiculous how much the coaching staff loves to play a guy that can't shoot when shooting's been one of the biggest issues on this team this entire freaking season. This entire freaking season, you're playing this guy 28 minutes in this game. I haven't even looked at how many minutes Krejci plays. Oh, Krejci plays 19 freaking minutes, and he was on fire in the first half. What the This pisses me off to an obscene amount. God, dude. You're thirsty for shooting according to your head coach, but also that same head coach apparently is not thirsty enough because he's playing Chris Murray 28 minutes going over 5 from 3, and Krejci has 14 points in 19 minutes. You got Scoot, you got Krejci. For some reason, it doesn't matter how well those guys play, they're not going to see more minutes than Chris freaking Murray. Sorry, it legitimately annoys me so much, man. God, it annoys me so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, get a new coach. Like, I'm done, man. I don't know. It's just the rotational decisions. I know it's like Patrick St. Andrews makes the decisions or something like that, but the rotational decisions are driving me absolutely up a wall.
Yeah.
Like, Cronin goes out and makes this great move for this really good shooter that fits really well, and the offense has statistically been much better with Krejci on the floor, and then he can't even see 20 minutes, even when he has 14 points, even when he plays great.
Well, the rotations too. Rob Will, when the Bulls made their comeback, Rob Will's on the bench for most of it. Scoot doesn't really play a ton down the stretch. Just weird, yeah.
You want to know one of the reasons I want them to make the playoffs? Because I want the organization, and maybe some Blazer fans, to realize how much Chris Murray's lack of shooting is a problem in a playoff series.
Yeah.
It will be a major issue.
But if he makes the playoffs, I think he probably comes back, right?
Who?
Coach. So you have some of the same problems.
But maybe he'll learn.
Maybe.
I don't know if he'll come back. Dude, I don't know. But, like, if we were healthy, how much would Krejci be playing? Chris Murray's ahead of him in the rotation. You got one guy that's a legitimate sniper from 3, and you got your 26% shooting 6'7" forward ahead of him in the rotation on one of the worst shooting teams in the league.
Chris was kind of de facto center tonight, so I don't know.
Oh, God. Every night is going to be like this or that is why Chris played 30 minutes, you know?
No, I'm not making this. I completely agree. Beat needs to play more, and Chris needs to play less. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting so every year there's like minutes issues and rotation issues, and this year we haven't really had that because of the injuries. And it's like, okay, are you going to play? When do we have it?
Well, I mean, I guess there could have been minutes restrictions, but
yeah, there's minutes restrictions all over the place. Like, you know, you never know who's not on a minutes restriction. I know Krejci isn't on a minutes restriction, but he might as well be on a 20-minute restriction. I don't know. So I haven't really been frustrated about that this year, and I forget how much some of this stuff annoys me that happened under Chauncey, and now it's happening now, and is what it is. Like, is what it is. I mean, Robert Williams was a plus 21 today playing 23 minutes. I guess maybe he has a 23-minute restriction. I don't know. But he was good today. You don't have to play Chris Murray 28 minutes.
I think Rob Will has a permanent minutes restriction.
What is it, though?
This is probably about as much as you want to play.
23 minutes?
Yeah, maybe 24.
Like, maybe it's 20 minutes and Thiago had to go lobby to play him an extra 3 minutes, or Thiago just went off script because they were plus 21 in his 23 minutes?
We had no other center. Yeah, I would not risk playing him very many minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Chris Murray played 3 minutes with them. Like, I don't know. Even when we had Klingon last game, we saw this issue. This is clearly the coaching staff likes Chris Murray more, even though they're thirsty for shooting. Anyway, we'll talk about Krejci in a second. He was awesome today. Drew, 32 minutes, 10 points, 4 for 15 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. 7 assists, only 2 turnovers. Good job, Drew, for taking care of the ball. You just happened to go 0 for 7 from 3 this game. That was the issue, but at least you took care of the ball.
Yeah.
Proud of him.
Yeah, bad shooting game. Good job in terms of game management, but yeah.
Yeah. Is what it is. He's been making shots lately, so just one of those nights where shots didn't fall. But can you control the controllables, which are taking care of the freaking ball and not making silly mistakes? That's what he did.
Yeah.
So, all right. Krejci, since I just ranted about him, in 19 minutes, he has 14 points. He's 5 for 10 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3. Has a couple nice drives. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, had a beautiful lob to Robert Williams. What'd you think of him today? His first half was fun, man.
Yeah, he had, it wasn't the TV interview, but he was the radio interview today. It was just nice to see him make some shots, and it feels like we haven't really got him going or haven't gotten him very good looks. And he made some looks happen with his abilities tonight, and that was good, like you said, with the drives. Oh, real quick, while I just mentioned that, just wanted to send well wishes to Brooke Olsendam. Hope she's doing okay, and yeah, she's a major part of the Blazer community, obviously, and hopefully she's okay. Deal with some health issues, so hopefully everything's okay there. And yeah, but yeah. It's good to see him have a good game finally.
Yeah. Just the offense flows better when he's
play more. Yep.
He's in the game. The offense functions better when he's in the game. It's pretty clear at this point, and the stats back it up. And it's exactly what I said would happen, and apparently Thiago still can't see it. Or Patrick St. Andrews still can't see it. I don't know. Maybe they like being thirsty. There's just so many questions. Anyway, Rob Will, good job, Rob Will. Good job on the boards, blocking some shots, finished with 14 points in 23 minutes, 14 boards, 4 blocks, 2 steals. When you're going up against a small ball Chicago team, it's nice to have a big that can just come into the game and win that matchup. And they did have Nick Richards off the bench, who also had 14 points. Right? Yeah, he was all right. But, Rob did a great job. Plus 21 with him in the game. He was a true difference maker today.
Yeah, Rob was a beast. Nice. When he's healthy and playing well, he's a really good backup center. Tonight we needed him in without Klingon. Hopefully Klingon's okay for this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully. The whole bench today was particularly good. You had Blake Wesley score 10 points in 14 minutes. He was a plus 11 in those 14 minutes. 3 for 4 from the field. Missed his only 3. 4 for 6 from the free throw line. 4 assists, 2 turnovers. Just provided a spark off that bench. Played really well. With the injury, or with the illness to Klingon, he gets shuffled into the rotation as the 9th man and gave them some good minutes today. And I think that's kind of the Blake Wesley role, on a good team, he's not going to be in your main rotation if you're healthy, but if you're down like 2-3 guys, he can come in, give you a spark, give you some energy off the bench. So I do like him as a 11th or 12th man, which is what I think he is on this team. Maybe off the bench he should be ahead of a guy like Chris Murray or Sissoko, I don't know, but you have a lot of guards, so. But as a 5th guard next year, if you have games where you're missing a couple guards, I feel comfortable with him playing and providing a spark. And especially off the bench, like if he comes in and is just a little out of control or makes some mistakes, like it's not gonna kill you. You just don't play him as much. But when he's playing like he does today, you give him 14 minutes, he scores 10 points, he has an impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Just be that spark plug, and he was tonight.
Yep. The 4 assists is nice. Like he's made some plays, made some nice passes. He fed Krejci there in that first half. His first 3 assists were to Krejci, and it was him. The third one was him pushing the ball all the way to the rim, getting into the paint, and Krejci slides down to the corner in transition and gets a open 3. It's just one of those impressive transition. I don't know if it counted as fast break points, but one of those impressive transition plays that the Blazers made today. And especially in that first half, there was a little stretch there where they got out and running.
Absolutely.
And then you have City Sissoko played 17 minutes. So he had 3 points, 1 for 4 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, fouled 4 times in 17 minutes. That's his quota. That's the expectation, is he'll foul once every 4 minutes. He was a little over that. 4 fouls in 17 minutes. That's like once every 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I need him to foul a little bit more. I'm really disappointed in him today just for not going out there and fouling more, because that's his role.
5th, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't get 5.
Especially when you're getting 17 whole minutes. You should be able to go out there and pick up 5 fouls. But he comes up a little short today, only picking up 4. So I thought I was really disappointed today. I mean, the fans in the Bulls Arena deserve to see more free throws for their home team. And City tries to do his job, but sometimes you could just foul a little bit more.
Yeah, only 61 combined free throws. That's crazy.
Could have been 63 if City played his. Played as well as he could have.
Well, depending on when he fouled, it may not have been a shooting foul. But
go foul a 3-point shooter. Get some free throws.
Yeah.
Get some free throws. Take inspiration from Drew when he had fouled that 3-point shooter twice in 24 seconds in that game recently. Anyway, all jokes aside, Eric, I mean, he got 4 rebounds, got 2 assists, 2 turnovers, though. Like, plays with some energy, but just makes mistakes on both ends of the floor. Why in the freaking world does he play only 2 minutes less than V. Krejci?
No idea.
Some of those City minutes should be going to freaking Krejci.
Yeah. I think it's just their defensive mindset, but...
Their defensive mindset is fouling as much as possible.
I guess. But Thiago ran this like free-flowing three-point shooting offense, and I don't understand how he goes from that last year where he was coaching overseas to this year not wanting to give more time who would be perfect in that offense he was running last year. I don't know.
So there's two things that I hate with City. One is when he has the ball in transition. It feels worse than Al-Farouq Aminu.
Yeah, it does. Or just, maybe not worse, but yeah, just as bad.
Well, Aminu at least is long, so if he can get around the rim, he could like extend and finish. Sissoko, dude, is he just goes into traffic in transition when he has the ball. It doesn't have a plan. Like, doesn't have an angle, doesn't have a plan. It's a travesty. The other thing I hate is when he tries to dunk on people because it never goes well. It never goes well. I mean, I guess it went well last game when he got floored by Ayodesumu and it was a flagrant foul. That's probably the best result that we've had.
Never.
He did miss one of the two free throws, but like, dude, just when so his two turnovers today. One in transition, one when he tried to dunk on somebody and elbowed them in the face. Like, that's City. The 4 fouls in 17 minutes. Issues in transition and then trying to dunk on people. Like, I love the energy, man. I love the energy. I love that he plays hard. But you got to know when to control it. And that's the issue right now. He just doesn't control it well enough on either side of the floor. So, anyway.
Yep. Yeah, he's a little too out of control at times. Got to tone that back a little bit. That's also the way he feels like he gets minutes is just being crazy out there. But I don't know.
Does get him minutes. It almost gets him as many minutes as V. Krejci.
True. It's working, I guess. So why would he change it?
Maybe V should start fouling more. And instead of making threes, he should try and go 1-on-3 in transition and get the ball stripped. And then he should try and dunk on someone. The thing is, he's 6'8", and he's, I don't know, sneakily bouncy. So maybe he might actually dunk on somebody if he tries to do this. But he needs to make sure that he doesn't. And maybe that will get him more minutes. I don't know. Just throwing out ideas. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to. I'm going to move on to absolutely no one.
Yeah.
No, well, Thibault. I knew there was somebody else. But Thibault, 12 minutes, 5 points, 1 for 3 from 3, 2 for 4 from the field. Had 2 blocks and a steal. That was cool. You know?
Yeah, he was fine. Yeah, I thought he had a pretty good defensive game, but yeah.
Did you hear Thiago's pregame press conference?
I did not hear it. I have heard a lot of people mention that he kept getting questions about Jan Hansen and got frustrated or something. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Did Young end up being active for this game?
It was listed as a DMP coach's decision. I mean, if they're asking questions before the game, he's probably with the team, so he would be active.
Yeah, but he sat out the remix game, was it yesterday or the day before, with a back injury, and he was questionable for this game or something.
Dude, I am getting – and this isn't fair to Young, okay? This has nothing to do with Young, okay? I am getting tired of how it's feeling like it's becoming more and more just a sideshow. Pre-game press conference, we're going to ask about – the guy that probably isn't going to play more than 2 minutes, we're going to ask, half the press conference is going to be questions about him before the game.
More and more. This happened since he got drafted.
And then, he subs in at the end of a game when we're down 30, but then the crowd will cheer like they won the game when he scores a layup. Like, it's just the experience of all this is getting to me a little bit, and it's unfair to him because he didn't ask for he didn't ask for any of this. Like, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectations that come on him, putting a whole country on his back, and that's where all this media comes from. So, he doesn't seem like the type of guy that wants a ton of attention. I don't know. So it's nothing against him, and I hope that he gives Blazer fans reason to cheer normally in the course of a normal game instead of like, oh, we're down 30, but we're gonna celebrate like we won a playoff game when he scores a layup. Like, I don't know. It's just that in the media is a little annoying to me.
Sorry, that was me with the Discord message. I didn't know you had those not muted.
Brutal. You might as well just read them off on air now, unless you can't.
Oh, I just wanted to just see it without mention. Well, I don't know if you want to mention what this is for, but I wanted to show you something that happened to me. You got on it. You slipped on past on a technicality because you were tweeted in the tweet.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
There's no way if that was your tweet. Yeah.
Oh man, if it was me though, it was me. Chat, I will put this on the screen for your enjoyment, okay? You will understand why I'm laughing here in a second. That's funny, man.
Hashtag Rip City gets on that show. I thought it was the name of the show, not just Rip City, because that's pretty bad.
I don't know.
I don't know how that show works. So.
This is what I'm laughing at, chat. Anyway. That's what I'm laughing at. They snuck it by. I bet you they didn't read the at,
You gotta know that someone is so mad about that.
How dare his name disgrace my post-game show?
He probably dressed down a intern or something.
Never, ever, never put anything with that guy's name, image, or likeness anywhere near my show. I'm joking, okay, chat? I'm just joking. That's cool, though? No, it's not. I don't need to be on...
Oh my god, you're on TV, Tori!
I hate on the ads that we get in the third quarter. The ultimate. No. This is the ultimate. All right? This is the ultimate post-game show, all right? Unfortunately, I don't got a news station that I can tap into 113,000 subscribers. I got to build it the old-fashioned way. We're almost at 13. It's cool, but
yeah.
Anyway.
No, you made it.
I freaking made it.
Dreams
came true. I finally appeared on a real post-game show.
And how impressed is your girlfriend going to be?
I know. I'm going to go call my mom.
Yeah.
Tell her there's nothing to worry about anymore. Anyway. I'm having fun with this post-game show, all right? This is... That's the recap. I don't know. I don't really know if there's anything else to talk about from this game.
No,
we don't
really.
get Tankathon to do.
Win's a win.
A win's a win. Good win. Just because they won, maybe it wasn't a good win. I don't know. It's up for you guys to decide. But I also won a lot of money. On
Sleeper.
Yeah. So I did a team pick parlay. I took what did I take? So Sleeper's partnered with Kalshi, so sometimes I'll just use Kalshi, sometimes I'll use Sleeper. Sleeper has team picks. Kalshi has like a little bit more random stuff, but you should check out Sleeper. Use promo code Uprise. But it was through Kalshi. Better quit now, Tori. You'll never top this. Yeah, it was through Kalshi. I was down $70. All right, I was down $70. So I put in another 40. So I put in 110 and like did 5 different things with the goal of like if all of them are right, I'm in the green. I'm at like 120, right? And all 5 of these things went right. Okay? I took Michigan State to upset Purdue on the road. Okay, dub. I did a parlay, and you can kind of set the spread. So I did a parlay, Charlotte winning by over 9.5, San Antonio winning by over 11.5, Charlotte winning by 9.5 over Indiana, San Antonio winning by 11.5 over Brooklyn, and then Atlanta beating Washington by 11.5. Basically, it was like, okay, I'm just going to bump up these spreads because these teams are tanking and just hope that like these teams that are trying to win just blow them out of the water. And that happened across the board. So that was cool. It was like $10 to win 54. And then I took Philadelphia to beat Miami by at least 5.5. They won by 7. Then I had a separate thing, Charlotte winning by 15.5 points over Indiana. So that one was like an even higher spread and won that because they blew them out. Charlotte blows out tanking teams is what I'm learning. And then I took San Antonio even bigger spread to beat Brooklyn by at least 13.5 and won that. So just my strategy of like, oh, these tanking teams are just going to get blown out paid off today. So that was cool. So now I'm $8.53 in the green. Oh, I'm not going to put my phone by my mic. That's not what I'm going to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the Michigan State over Purdue was one of those where it's like, Purdue's been struggling lately. The odds were good for Michigan State. I didn't really expect it to come through, so, but I wasn't tracking it because I went to Rec League and I came out of Rec. Yeah, and it was nice. It was fun. Always play responsibly, but, it's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. If you want to have fun, check out Sleeper. They have team picks as well on top of player picks now. So you can go make team picks. So you can pick the Blazers to beat. Who they play next?
Hornets, right?
Oh, yeah,
Saturday.
Blazers to beat. Saturday morning. I'd probably take the Hornets to beat the Blazers. The Hornets have been playing well, and that's 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's brutal.
Might depend on the spread.
Yeah, I don't know. Up to you guys to figure it out. Shout out to Sleeper. Anyway, we'll be back live Saturday at 12:30. It's so weird. Maybe I'll stream outside, although I don't know if my internet's good enough for that.
I kind of like maybe not streaming that early, but after the stream, still having the rest of the afternoon and evening to go do something. That'll be fun.
I mean, I just lay in bed scrolling on my phone till like 12:30 in the afternoon anyway on a Saturday, so might as well watch the basketball game instead of doom scrolling on Twitter. So
then we got Atlanta at 3 on Sunday. So.
Yeah, I don't like that. My whole Sunday afternoon, man. Let it be a Sunday night. I like finishing my day with a live stream. So, anyway, this weekend it feels like, or this season it feels like there's more weekend games. Something I noticed before the season, it seems like there's more weekend games. So, which kind of makes sense, but yeah, we'll see. But being in Charlotte would be a great win. Get one game below 500, then you go on the road against Atlanta. I just win one of these 2 games between Atlanta and Charlotte, and then you should be able to win at Memphis. That'll put you 3-1 on the road trip. That'll put you 1 game below 500. Then you have at Houston, who the Blazers played well this year. See what you can do there. And then you come home to face the Pacers. Like, that's a win. The Hornets, and then the Jazz. And the Jazz game should be a win as well. Then you go back on the road at Philadelphia.
Win.
Yeah, at Philadelphia. I mean, it's not. We'll see if Embiid plays. Then at Brooklyn, that should be a win. At Indiana, that should be a win. At Minnesota, at Denver, tough games there. But then come home versus Brooklyn, that's a win. Versus Milwaukee, should be able to win that one. Versus Dallas, that should be a win as well. They're tanking, and they'll definitely be tanking that part of the season. And then versus Washington, that's a win. That's a lot of games that I feel comfortable just saying, like, yeah, they're going to win that game. Because they're going to be playing against teams that are hardcore trying to lose. Hardcore tanking. That's the good thing with playing an easy schedule late compared to early. I know people get all frustrated, like, man, the first 20 games are so hard. I'd rather it be that way so that you're facing these bottom feeders when they're trying to lose at the end of the year.
Yeah, a bunch of free wins, hopefully.
Yep. Unfortunately, the freaking Lakers lost to the Suns today. Royce O'Neal hit a game winner. They didn't have Devin Booker or Dylan Brooks. The Lakers suck. Did you see your guy DeAndre Ayton today?
My guy?
Your guy.
Yeah, after more bad stuff came out about him.
I'm not. They're trying to treat me like Clint Capella. I'm not Clint Capella. I'm a max contract player. I have nothing left to prove. All I have left to prove is that I'm not Clint Capella. I can't stand that dude. I can't stand that dude. I don't want to hear another person argue with me like, oh, Torrey, he's just 24. He was the number one overall pick. Like, he has potential. You just give him time to figure it out. You just need a new change of scenery. So many people argue with me on Ayton for so long, and it was so obvious before he even got here that he had some issues, had some attitude issues, and it became evident pretty quick that Portland wasn't going to change that. He was a minus 24 today in a starting lineup that had a +9, a +9, a +5, and a -3.
Capella clapped back saying something to the effect of, it must be hard playing with two elite creators.
If he doesn't think he's Clint Capella, who does he think he is? Does he think he's a shooter? Does he think he's a
Clint Capella?
Does he think he's Dirk? Like, because he shoots mid range? What does he think he is?
Did you hear what the trainers do?
What? Oh.
I forgot what it was.
DA's crunk juice.
Crunk juice for turning into a beast or something like that. They have to put that, wrap it around his water bottle to motivate him. Like, God, that guy.
This sounds like something a parent would do. Well, they wouldn't put crunk juice, but like
Space Jam, right?
I don't know. This is what parents would do for their 10-year-old to motivate them. They'd write, nice little supportive messages on their water bottle before they go play their peewee basketball game. We're talking about a guy that's been on a max contract. The number one overall pick of the draft. The traders are out here writing TA's crunk juice. And then he's going off after the game. They're trying to turn me into Clint Capella. I'm not Clint Capella. And then the following night against his old team, they lose by 3. And he's a minus 24 in 23 minutes and scores 2 points, has 4 rebounds, is 1 for 3 from the field. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. I will never hate on a player just to hate on a player. I will always have a valid reason. Always. So, DA, I love to see the downfall. Can I call it a downfall? That's kind of just who he's always been.
Mm-hmm.
Capella, after the next game, should say, I'm not DeAndre Ayton. I bet the Lakers would rather have Clint Capella than DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, maybe.
At what point do you look in the mirror like, okay,
dude, he's just not being used right. They just aren't giving him a chance, Tori.
Where does he think he's going to be used right? Well, at the start of when he first got there, it was all about like winning basketball games and playing good brand of basketball. But he's too selfish to buy fully into that. He's too selfish.
Yeah, but coming off of everything that's happened the last couple days, the plus minus of their starting lineup in this game is hilarious.
There was a prominent,
You seen it?
yeah. There was a prominent Blazer account that was like criticizing the article written about him, basically defending him, and then he goes and does this. Like, dude, I don't know how, as a Blazer fan, I don't know how in general you can just go and defend this dude. He's obviously the problem in every place he's ever been, and especially if you've had him on your team and you still don't see it yet. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's a repeating pattern. Suns, Blazers, Lakers. Guess what? It will happen the next place he plays too. Unless he plays for a team that gives him 25 shots a game and he's allowed to shoot whatever he wants. Dude,
I think that's what he wants, just to go to a crappy team.
he was just on a crappy team and wanted to go to a good team. He was on a good team, wanted to go to a crappy team. He got to a crappy team. Then, in less than 2 years, he goes to that team and says, hey, can you buy me out? And then he goes to a good team. And now he wants to go to a crappy team again? The grass is always greener, huh? Like, you're never going to be happy in any situation.
No accountability. Yeah.
So, the thing is, I'm so glad we have Donovan Clingan. Like, Clingan is better at all these little things and, defense and screens, playing hard, buying in, playing with attitude, being physical. Like, he's better at all these things. But in 9 months, he has improved his three-point jumper more than DeAndre Ayton has in 9 years. From his time setting foot on the campus of Arizona to now, Ayton has not improved his three-point shot as much as Donovan Clingan has this year. Which I think should say something, because Ayton has touch. Is he really working on this during the offseason? You would think he would be able to knock down some threes by now, if he was working on it. But no, it seems to me like, A, he doesn't work on it, but B, he expects to be allowed to do it. Anyway. I know you guys missed the DA rants, so there's one.
Yeah.
He's averaging a career low 13 points per game and a career low 8.5 rebounds per game. He's playing 28 minutes. For his career, he averages 30. So ugly.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you all. Hope to see you on that Saturday afternoon stream.
Yeah, hopefully we can catch you for that. Blazers take care of business in Chicago. They start off this road trip right. They get a win. They look a little sketchy there at the end, but just got to win basketball games. 29-31 now on the season. Would love to get above 500 again. Just happy that we're close. Happy that our record, you look at it and it doesn't look disgusting. It doesn't look like we don't know how to play basketball. So just keep trying to get back to 500.
It's cool that a late season Charlotte-Portland game is like a meaningful game for both teams.
Yeah. They're also 29-31.
They're trying to crawl their way into the play-in, and we're trying to maintain our positioning. Yep.
Yeah, they're the 10th seed. They're a game and a half up on Milwaukee right now, who's won a couple basketball games recently that maybe they weren't expected to. But Charlotte's only half a game below Atlanta and only 2 games below Miami for 8. So they are kind of in the same exact position as we're in. The Blazers are 2.5 games below Golden State for 8. It just feels like we're constantly 2.5 games behind Golden State for 8th.
Yeah.
It's got to drive me crazy. The Phoenix games suck because we could have been 4 games below them for 7th, and with the schedules the rest of the year and their injuries, like, they are catchable. They're catchable. It just seems like we win, they win. Same thing with the Warriors. We lose, like, those teams will lose. It's kind of been going that way for a while now, so I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, we're out here. Shout Sleeper. We'll catch you guys Saturday afternoon. Hopefully you make us a part of your weekend. We appreciate you guys tuning in for the late stream today. Streams will become after the games for the foreseeable future. We'll let you know if that changes. Hit the like on the way out if you're subscribed. If you're new, likes are the easiest way to support the channel. Also, leave a comment after the stream is done because that also can help out the channel. Give me your thoughts on this game, Always love reading your comments after the fact and reading your live chats. Thank you to everyone who participated today in the live chat. And we are out of here. Blazers win. Have a good rest of your nights. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers!